How are you enjoying the new music? This is from a new artist. So we're gonna have some new music coming out pretty soon, actually. I'm kind of into this. Sorry, I'm still just getting a couple things set up in the background, because everything decided to stop working for me at the last second. But welcome on in, Empress, Ray, Jackadoo, Dubious, Acria, Napoleon. Hope you're all having a great day. Uh-oh, wait, why is this not working? There we go, okay. Whew. I thought I was gonna have to restart everything again. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Welcome on in, everyone. Hey, what's up, Murder? How you doing? Let me turn the music just a little bit. I think I finally fixed my microphone, by the way. I've been trying to figure out, hey Mela, for like the last like 10 or so streams, I feel like I've just been a bit quiet. I don't really know what was going on, but I felt like I was just a little bit quiet the whole time. It was driving me crazy. God, this music is such a vibe. It's so good. Turn it down just a little bit more. By the way, my AC is on, so I apologize to anyone who might hear that in the background, but it is really hot here right now. Summer and fur plus cloak do not go super well together, but that's fine, that's fine. Ray isn't a yapper anymore? Wait, what do you mean I'm not a yapper? Hey, I take great pride in my yapping. Look, there's only like a 50% chance that we're going to actually do what the stream is about today, you know, so don't worry, we're still yapping. We are professional yapper, because you know what thing we love to do is put something in our stream title and just end up talking all day anyways. Look, we just have fun here. It's fine, it's fine. God, this music is just so good. I have a feeling this next album's gonna be awesome. But yeah, welcome on in, everyone. The plan for today, when we get to it, I already said when we get to it, is I kind of wanted to do a creating a D&D adventure, not like anything too specific, because I feel like I get too focused when I'm actually trying to make like very specific and niche things. But you know, talking about like the actual vibe of like, you know, maybe a 1, 2, 3 session adventure. And you know, if we like doing this type of stuff, you know, maybe we expand it in another stream to, you know, start working on like the outline of a campaign. I love doing stuff like this. Mint, thank you for the raid into the most chill music you're probably ever gonna hear. Welcome on in, Ryoko. I come peacefully. Thank you so much. Mint told us to bully you. I mean, would you bully a cat with these kind of vibes? I don't know if you could do that. Look, we are vibing out to the most awesome new music that's coming out soon ever. I told him there was a cute cat we're raiding. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Are my hit pads even turned on right now? I don't know if they are. I told them to bully into using your pixel model. Wait, what do you mean? I like using my pixel model. First time watching your stream? Well, welcome on in, City Lights. We're in the vibe part of the stream. We will get to the talking about D&D stuff here in just a little bit. Yay, what's up, Vice? How you doing? God, I'm vibing too hard to this music right now. Okay, so first of all, guys, I want to tell you about the sheer volume of stuff that has happened in like the last 3 days. Because there has been so much stuff to happen in just like 3 days. It's kind of crazy. I can't talk about all of it. Also, what the heck was your weird copy pasta? I told ChatGPT to give you a made-up title, Mint. I don't know what you... I don't know what the problem is. Also, I'm sorry I don't pop in much. Usually just busy. Hey, no problems. We like it. You know, we understand. Everyone gets busy. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, I was supposed to stream yesterday and didn't. So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Why are you like this? Because I am. Okay, I better get off this vibey music before I, like, just jam out to it for the rest of time. Okay, hold on. We gotta reopen Spotify. Did you hydrate today? Yes, I've actually got 3 water bottles right next to me. All right, what are we feeling? What are we feeling? You know what? Let's shift gears. We can still be chill. There we go. We'll just be a little bit more chill. Just slightly. Not too much. Not too much. Ray is the anti-me. He likes water. I do, in fact, enjoy water. It's true. It's very true. But we've got a lot of stuff coming in the next 3 weeks. I went from having no project for my birthday to having a massive project for my birthday in the span of about 6 hours. So, the good news is I think it'll actually happen because stuff is supposed to be here for it on this weekend already. It was crazy. It was crazy. Something that a couple people have been asking me about for a little while, and a new thing to set up that I'm actually very excited to use. If I don't make it to another stream soon, happy early birthday. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. We're on Twitch and YouTube today. I'm usually on Twitch and YouTube. Whenever I'm not doing shorts, like vertical streams. Whenever we're not doing vertical, we're on Twitch and YouTube. So we're on both. We're on both. Once I finish dinner, I need to work on my project for your birthday. I'm looking forward to it. I've gotten ominous DMs from people asking me questions, and I highly suspect they're related to you. Does vertical even work properly on Twitch? I have no idea. I haven't tried. Though I do want to start doing vertical, like when I do the vertical streams, to also do them on TikTok. Because that would make the most sense, right? Is like, if I'm already doing vertical, I might as well do it on TikTok, right? I'm actually looking into getting Restream for that. Just because it would be easier. No, I'm too socially awkward. Okay, well, someone's doing something, because I've gotten a lot of random questions about specific things recently, and they're not giving me any context. So I just kind of assumed it's for something. I don't know what, though. It's just, I don't know. It's been interesting. Let's see. What are some of the other stuff that have just kind of happened? What are they asking? I don't want to share it now just because it might spoil a surprise for something. I'll share one of them. One of the questions was, what is my favorite vegetable? And then just would not, like, refused to give me context. And I was like, that's a very weird question to ask. Why my favorite vegetable? Right? Like, it's kind of weird, but kind of fun. So I'm just like, okay. My favorite vegetable is jalapenos. They're probably the vegetable I eat the most. because I can put them in like everything. I just like eating them. See, normal people buy bell peppers. I buy jalapenos. Those are my bell peppers. Like I can just eat them. It's not a problem. And I like them. They taste good. They're yummy. They're crunchy. They're everything I want out of a pepper. They're just good. So there you go. That's just one of the things. The other thing was the new music that we played at the beginning. That like super vibey music. You just munch on them from time to time? No, like if I want to eat a vegetable, I'll just grab a jalapeno and eat the whole thing. It's fine. It's not a big deal. My spice tolerance is very, very high. And jalapenos are basically just another vegetable to me now. That's how often I eat them. Napoleon, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. This is normal to me. Look, okay, look. Where I live, jalapenos are so much cheaper than bell peppers, and I just like eating them. So like I could pay $2 and have like a giant bag, like a huge bag of jalapenos. Or I could pay like $4 for the same size bag of bell peppers. Like there's no competition here. Me and Spicy don't get along. You know what? That's fine. Well, see, that's the problem is I don't really like bell peppers either. I don't mind them on some things, but if you're going to give me a choice, I'm going to go with the jalapeno, and it's cheaper anyways. So I can just buy a bunch of them and just eat them. It's great. It's wonderful. Like it's absolutely amazing. Just so good. Rape. No, please. My chat was scolding me for not eating veggies. Well, rip mint. Pickled or non-pickled? I don't do anything pickled. I hate pickled. Pickled stuff is not great. Stream. Look, Jackie, you know what we do here. The stream title is it's what's the right word here? My stream title is more like a suggestion. This is what I was thinking about when I made the stream, but we'll see what happens. Looks at bag of pepper jerky. I love pepper jerky as well. Pepper jerky's so good. I can't have it too much though, because I've got weird spaces in between my teeth. So like it gets caught super easy. If I ever have jerky, I'm like flossing for the next hour just to get it all out. It's so annoying. Even though I love it so much. This is what I'd like to do. The actual meaning of the title. It's so true. It's so true. That is, I know my stream titles are mostly just suggestions. By the end of the stream, we're going to be talking about European history. Oh, trust me, we can go way weirder than that. We can go way weirder than that. There is a couple other things I want to talk about though, like the new artists that we're working with. They're really fast, and so far they've been really good. We're gonna give them. We did the one song as a test, and now that we got that first one back, we're gonna do a couple more until we get up to our usual 5, and then we'll release that album. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. I have officially started the Rayleigh outfit reference sheet. So that's happening. We have a date for stuff now. I think we're actually going to be ready in time for October. I think that's actually going to happen this year. Now, of course, now that I've said that, you know, the artist is just going to disappear in flames like the last two. But you know what? I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. Oh gosh. But she's been responding the whole time while I've been talking. So I don't think she's just gonna disappear on me. I'm pretty sure. too? Yeah, no. See, here's the thing, Ryoko. The first time I tried to get Ray Leech made, the artist literally deleted their Twitter. And by the way, I'd already gotten a model from them once. So like, it's not like they were a new artist. I'd worked with them before. They just disappeared. Like they're just straight up gone. And then the next couple, I mean, I've talked to over a dozen artists about her so far. And then the next one said that they could do it and then backed out. But at least they communicated. It's kind of, well, they said they might not be able to do it, and then they stopped answering me. So like, they at least, I guess, put me down gently, I guess. But they also just, they just don't make models anymore. Also, the person who made my cat model doesn't make models anymore. So, you know, I just, look, I just have a reputation of killing artists, I guess. It's like, hey, we made something for Rayless. I guess that's the pinnacle of our career. We're never going to do anything again. It's so funny. It's like, guys, I don't think I'm that bad of a client to work with. I'm sorry. Don't kill Will. I love him. Now, Will's been good. Will is officially the one doing our ref sheet. We've talked to them about it. We actually also will probably have Will be doing another secret project for us that I know will not be ready for my birthday, unfortunately, but I also don't want him to rush that. Are you going to kill me? No. I would never kill you, Ray. So Will's doing our ref sheet, which is going to be good. They're also doing some other stuff from us or for us. And like I said, I'm actually super excited for this project I'm working on, and you will be able to see it soon. And I'm actually excited about this. It's been a while since I've been excited about this, and it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. But yeah, so there's that. Let's see. What are some of the other shenanigans that, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff to happen recently, and not a lot of it is great. There's a lot of bad stuff that's been happening this week, man. It's been crazy. But I've been hanging out with people, having some good stuff. I was inundated with more K-pop knowledge than I'd ever learned in a day, or like in my life, over the course of like 4 hours. That was fun. Cause like I like listening to K-pop, but I'm not into K-pop like the culture. But I was on a call with someone who was very into K-pop and the culture. It was a lot of it was very interesting. We'll put it that way. It was very, very interesting. How long have you streamed for? Technically since 2011. Or no, that's when my first YouTube video was. My first stream was probably 2015. So 9 years, technically. If you want to get real technical. I've been around. I've been around for a while. On the topic of this week not going great, my dog's attacked a porcupine. Oof. 9 years of dominance. Hell yeah. Nah, guys, trust me. I'm planning my YouTube dominance career. I'm thinking about things very heavily. I had a goal that I set out to do at the beginning of this year, which I definitely did not do and have not done so far. But I have some ideas for stuff that I want to do. But yeah, I think that's most everything I wanted to talk about. We are going to talk about D&D, because there's one thing that I can just talk about forever. You guys know it's random VTuber bullcrap and D&D. I mean, how many times have we just gotten derailed by D&D in streams? Like, it's been at least like 4 times. Like, at least. Probably more. Just drinking some water. Okay. There we go. Had to get some water. Are you close to whatever it is, at least? I don't know. I will tell you that if you're following the Rayleech YouTube channel, the 26 of you that are, you will probably see me trying out some things over there. I haven't decided where I want to post stuff yet, but we'll see. I'm essentially going to use that as our test channel for a little bit to see what I like and what I don't like. Because okay, you know what? I guess we're going on this tangent. You shouldn't have asked the question, Dubious. We're on tangent time. I should have a button. Wait, can I make a... Hold on. Oh, wait, I'm having a thing. I'm having an idea here. Can I make a button that just like has a giant... I should do this after stream. I'm going to do this after stream. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're doing this. I'm going to make a button that when I push it, a giant, like, tangent time train just, like, pops up. I can use the Off the Rails logo and just make it tangent time and just push the button and be like, guys, it's time for a tangent. I should make it like a full animation. Any D&D advice for a really stupid barbarian? Just don't be so stupid that your group hates you. That's my only real advice. Button for Devil May Cat. I should make one after stream. But no, because guys, I've been thinking a ton about YouTube and about content and about everything. Because, you know, keeping it real, we didn't make a whole lot of progress last year. I mean, we actually made negative progress last year, but that's besides the point. We did not make a lot of progress last year. We didn't make a lot, we made a ton the year before that because that was when all the lore stuff happened, but I don't really want to do that anymore. Or if I do, I don't want to do it on main. I want to have it have its own channel, you know? And this year it's hit or miss with what's going on. I like the stuff that I'm doing better, but it's not good enough for what I need it to be. And I don't think I'm good enough to just edit like long form videos to do that. But what I am good at, fun fact, is I am good at like other types of edited videos. Cause I've been looking through my whole channel and thinking about stuff and like, I really like the coding stuff, but I got to figure out a new way of doing things with it. Or I just have to accept that the main channel is going to be just stream stuff and any other edited stuff gets on a different channel, which is kind of the way I'm leaning towards. It's like still clips and everything that you guys have been seeing here. They're still going to be here, but I think I'm going to try some new stuff over on Rayleech's channel because, hey, it's a new YouTube channel. No one cares. And if I can learn the stuff that I need to there, well, you know, maybe it'll bring back over here. Or I'm in that weird mental space, guys, where I'm simultaneously trying so much new stuff and scared to try new stuff. It's such a weird, you know, it's weird that in life you can be so ready to just like try a whole bunch of stuff in one area and then also be terrified of doing it in a different one. It's just weird, you know? 'Cause you're like coding stuff. It's like, oh, can I do this? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's try it. Let's figure it out. Right. But it's like video editing. It's like, but shorts editing. It's like, oh, I got this, you know? It's so weird. It's so weird how you can do that where one specific type of content is just scary. But even if it's the thing that you need to do and you know you need to do it, you know? I just never have the motivation. The problem is I have more motivation to do all the other stuff and I need more discipline because motivation is fickle. I need more discipline to just sit down and just do the stuff. Because honestly, guys, no one really cares if your content is crap except for you. Because they just won't watch it. Like that's the worst that can happen is no one will watch it and you slowly get better over time, which is something that I know. but you know, it's still hard, you know, it's still hard. But I am closer to trying some stuff. I just want to figure out a format that I can just try. The big thing for me is time, because I only have so much time, and I am unfortunately the type of cat, you know, I like doing things that I'm good at, which I think is every single person on the planet, is they like doing the things they're good at. They don't like doing the things they're bad at because they know they're bad at it, right? So I end up spending my time making Chaos Bot better, or doing like more experimentation with shorts, or all this other stuff that I know I'm good at, or at least I know that I'm improving at. And, you know, I do less of the stuff that I should be doing, even though I know I should just be doing it. Because guess what, guys? I started off making videos and they were doing very well. And then, like, I guess I just didn't make a lot of videos for a couple years. And, you know, all of a sudden I'm back to like square one. And I just need to sit down and do it. So yeah, stuff is coming. Stuff is definitely coming. It's just this one project is taking up a lot of my time right now. The one project is taking up so much time, but it's going to be so worth it because it's been something I've wanted to do for at least a year now. And I didn't think I was going to be in a position to do it, but turns out I am. And it's going to be better than I thought it was going to be. So look forward to that. But there you go. That's tangent time with Rayless. So let's go ahead and let's at least hop onto the scene, even if we end up just yapping for, you know, for forever. Okay, so this is not the right one. Where am I? This is the right one. Okay, much better. Oh, also, do you guys like my new little chatter thing that I added? I have a new script running that counts every time someone new chats. I don't know, it's just kind of a fun thing, I guess. I can add like high scores and stuff. So, ta-da! Okay, but let's talk about D&D stuff, shall we? We're actually getting into what the topic of the stream is within 30 minutes. I feel like that's got to be some sort of record, right? So here's the context for, let me just move chat over here. Okay, I have chat over here and I have Twitch chat over here. And there we go. Okay, so today what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to walk you guys through how I usually plan D&D adventures. Because for those of you who don't know, I have been a DM, or I had been a DM for many years. I was like 99% of the time I was the DM of my friend group. I would DM for local things like Adventure League or Pathfinder Society, a couple other games like Anima and things like that. I played a lot of D&D. I did a whole stream where I showed off all of my RPG collection and all that jazz. So that's my quote unquote credentials for this. Though really, you don't like, no one needs to really have experience to DM. You learn by doing, right? Because more often than not, it's you and a group of people that want to get together and just have fun. You know, that's... Again, I'll bull you to add firearms into this. Maybe. Like, usually when people get together to play D&D, I should make this a slightly different shade of color just so I can actually see it. Because, like, this is pretty bad. There we go. Okay. I can actually see it now, and I know that it's different than the background. So I've made a couple games. or I've run a couple long-term campaigns. I think the longest one I ever did was like 1.5 to 2 years of like an overarching story of a world. And then we ran another game on that same world for another like year or so. So, you know, we've had some long campaigns. I've also run, I think, like a couple adventure paths from Paizo. I've also run a couple of the D&D modules. Despite, it's funny, I've never actually been a player for 5th edition, but I have run 5th edition. I've literally never played it, but I have run it. Which is such a weird thing to say out loud, but you know what, it is what it is. Now, the fun thing is I don't think to make a fun game, the system really matters. Because a lot of people that I've seen who are starting off, they like try and just fill, well, not people that are starting, but people that want to do like custom stuff. They're too preoccupied with what's already written and don't want to do this one little thing that I called just, oops, let me change the things so you can actually see it. You take something out of the bestiary. So you take a monster out of the bestiary. Doesn't matter if it's a wasp, doesn't matter if it's a cat. Because guess what? You could take literally, oops, let me make this eraser a little bit bigger. You could take a dog and guess what? Use its stat block, change very few things, and now it's a cat, right? Like, you can do a lot of that stuff with monsters. And I do that all the time. In fact, for one system that I was running for Pathfinder 2nd edition, I actually made a whole creature builder that just averaged like all the stats in the bestiary. So if I was running a campaign, like let's say the party was like level 4, right? I could create a level 4 creature just by typing in, okay, I want the creature to be level 4. I want it to be like a tank, and I want it to have 3 attacks and like a little bit of magic, like little magic. And then I had a whole spreadsheet that once I put in those 3 things, because I made a class for monsters. So like tank was a class. It just means like a big heavy bruiser. They could have up to a certain number of attacks and up to a certain amount of magic. And if you set this to 0, it would just make this bigger. If you set this to 0, then make this bigger. So like if you just wanted a big beefcake, you could do that. Now, obviously not everyone's going to have that when they're first starting. But I always like to start stories or ideas with what is the end point? Like what is the big problem that anyone has to solve? So I like to start with, what is the problem? What is the problem that PCs have to solve? Because, and usually this has to be so big that anyone from any walk of life has to deal with. Because anyone who's ever DM'd, and all you players out there, you know who you are. They will make the most insane characters ever. And I'm a big fan of just letting people make characters. I do generally set ground rules. And more importantly, ask what vibe people want. This is something that I cannot believe people don't do. You start with the vibe. Set ground rules and do a vibe check. So like every campaign I've ever like run that's not just a module, I ask the group like, hey, are you guys going to be good guys? Are you going to be bad guys? You're going to be like mercenaries? Like, what are you feeling? Like, you should always ask these questions before starting any sort of adventure, because this flavors the whole thing, right? Like if my entire group wants to play bad guys, guess what? It doesn't matter if I want to run a good game. They're going to figure out a way to be bad. Like that, they're just going to do it. They're just going to do it. So like, and by the way, I've run all three types of these games. There was a particularly harrowing moment where in an evil campaign, they sacrificed all the, like an entire village just to make magical items. That was fun. And my favorite mercenary style game, they were a group called the GPS, which was Galactic Practical Solutions. And their solution was to bring in every dead or alive bounty dead because it was easier. I think they tried to bring in someone live once and it completely backfired and caused like a space station to explode because it was like a sci-fi game. And so that became their motto, was just, it's not dead or alive, it's just dead and deader. It was a lot of fun. But the good guys game, I prefer to run heroes because I like being the evil one. And because if I'm in charge of being evil, I get to set the tone of just how evil we are, right? I get to be the one in control of like what messed up crap is going on. Because if players will do this, sometimes they like, if players are in charge of being evil, remember, this is how you get entire towns sacrificed. But when the GM is the evil one, then it's the players versus the GM and all the evil stuff is what they're trying to stop. So I prefer to be the evil one because then my world is exactly as evil as I want it to be and not how much they want to be. You mean monk and warlock? Okay, chat, what I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on stream. What class do you think I have the most fun playing with? Like, what class do you see me as? You guys know me too well. I am absolutely a paladin. I'm a paladin, a cleric, or an oracle. I'm one of those three. Look, I like being the good guy. Occasionally, I like being the bad guy. But like, so funnily enough, I am, okay, this is another tangent, but it's still D&D related. We're still on topic, technically. My favorite types of magic, because in Pathfinder, there's arcane, divine. They added a couple new ones. There's like primal, and there's something else here. But in original Pathfinder, there was just arcane and divine. And arcane is like wizard and sorc stuff. Divine is like cleric. Where like 99% of my characters are either divine or straight up, I'm a fighter. Or if I ever do hop onto the arcane side, I play stuff like alchemists. Like, that's where I am. Because I don't like playing wizards. Wizards are so boring. So are sorcerers. I don't like just being high magic. Because like at least this level of high magic, there's like a whole roleplay element to it. It's like, oh, you know, you're working for a deity. You're doing cool stuff. You know. There's a lot of stuff. There is one other archetype that I am not usually allowed to play, and it is an arcane. It is the summoner. I would play a summoner 10 out of 10 times if you let me. I love summoning hordes of stuff to go do my bidding. It's awesome. This is number one best. But anyone who's ever been in a group with a summoner knows how much of a pain it can be to be in a group with a summoner. Because guess what? The summoner doesn't just have one option in combat. They don't have 10 options in combat. They have 100 summons, which all have 10 options in combat. So if your summoner is looking stuff off mid-fight, their turn in combat takes like 10 years. This is why people hate summoners. It's because they have so many options and they don't do their research ahead of time. Now me, when I play summoner, boom, okay, this is how prepped I am for summoning. I would bring, I still have these. I would physically print out the stats. Wait, do I still have the design files for those? Hold on, let me see. If I still have these, I wonder if I still have these. Because if I do, I'm going to show you the exact style that I am. Because I put in so much effort. Hold on, let me look things up. You give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure I still have access to these. My drive. Did I? Let's see. I have my character sheets file, which is forever huge, but that's not the one I want. It's campaigns. Yeah. No. Sad day. I might not have it. Dang, I don't think I have them anymore. Or rather, they're not easy enough for me to find, and I'm not going to waste too much time looking for them. But basically what I would do as the summoner is I would have all of these cards print out. So like I would have a card that is my level, like one of my level 3 summons. It has this attack, this attack, this attack, this ability, this is this ability. Here's its HP, here's its defense, da 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 da. But like I would make these myself and print them out so that when it was my turn, like if I wanted to summon something, I'd just be like, okay, I summon this thing. And even if I could summon different, I wouldn't look that up on my turn. I'd look it up during everyone else's turn and I have my stuff ready to go. So I'd just be like, okay, I summon this level 3 fire ant. It runs up and, you know, bites the dude. And that's my turn. And then my Eidolon goes here and punches that guy. And then my other summoned dog goes there and bites that guy. And then we're done. It's like, boom, 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 boom. My turn is over. It's done. It's fast. It's quick. It doesn't cause anyone to like hate their life. You know, it's great. It's wonderful. If you're going to play a class that has a lot of choices, make those choices beforehand and just play with them. Because, oh my gosh, there's nothing more infuriating than having to like wait for someone to take like a 20-minute turn for the fighter to run up and smack them in 10 seconds and then wait another 20 minutes. The fighter, I guarantee you, is bored out of their mind and hates life. Summoner's Pathfinder. So yeah, just be mindful. But the reason why I bring all of this up is because that's why you do the vibe check. Is you talk about like what the overall tone of the game you want them to be as. You do like, okay, what classes? Now, I'm a firm believer of group comp doesn't matter. Because if you go make fighters, I will like just add more healing items and stuff for you guys to use, you know? So like, I don't care what you guys do. It's just, you do your own thing. It's like, okay, so what are your classes? More importantly, what are your backstories? These are all, or like what type of backstory? They don't need to have their full backstory. But again, this is why you do the vibe check. Even if it's a short adventure, like either you tell them exactly what the vibe is and what you expect them to make, or you ask them what they want to make and then makes it, make a adventure around that. I just want to write lore. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this with all the love I have in my heart, as someone who has written literal hundreds of pages of lore about stupid crap at this point. No one cares except for you. And as the DM, you need to be okay with that, because it's always nice when someone cares about what you've written. But if you, okay, because it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. If you give me a 10-page backstory of your character, I'm going to distill it down to like 4 sentences for my notes. Because I do not have the mental capacity to remember what you said to your aunt 12 years ago on a rainy day about some random thing and make it relevant to the campaign. That is not going to happen. I'm being so real right now. I will, however, remember and write down that the reason why you're going on an adventure is because of all these past traumas. And if you mention, like you have a family connection or something, and like to this thing, that might be something that I can play with later. Hey, what's up, Wraith? How you doing? That might be something I can play with later. But overall, if you give me 10 pages of paper or a 10-page backstory, I'm going to distill it down. And that works both ways, right? I have literal hundreds of pages of lore about a world that no one knows about but me. And they only know about it because they ask about it or I yap about it on stream. That's literally the only way you guys ever find out any information about any of this world that I've created. And I've spent so much time on it. But you don't care. You care about the stuff that you can interact with. And like maybe a lore buff is like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about this. But most players are not huge lore buffs. They really only care about their character and what their character can interact with. Because at the end of the day, Dungeons and Dragons, for most people, is about the game and about hanging out. A lot of people use D&D just as a method of hangout rather than, this big lore deep dive session, So I know you care, Mint, but I'm talking about like from the GM perspective, everyone has to care about it or else it doesn't matter. Because the one guy that doesn't care is the one who's going to be pushing the campaign forward and making stuff happen. That's the real problem. But this is why you will have the vibe check. Because if your players just want to go on a high seas adventure that has like some light lore about, this old pirate skeleton king, then maybe. No, I know. I just mean if you had a 10-hour video essay on your world lore, I'd eat every second. Man, there's a part of me that really wants to get into doing that because I could just yap about that for forever. I could yap about all the stuff that I've got, but maybe one day we'll actually be able to make it into like an actual thing. Who knows? Who knows? I love weaponizing backstories. I do too. Weaponizing backstories is great. It's like, oh, this childhood friend of yours that you really care about sure would be a shame. Sure would be a shame if something happened to them. Oh, gosh. But yeah, it's good times. It's good times. Hey, what's up, Pumpkin? How you doing? We are vibing and talking about D&D and potentially planning shenanigans. Mostly we've just been talking about like the stuff that I think about when discussing how to build a fun adventure, you know? So I like to start with the problem. This is mostly on you, but this is after the vibe check. So technically this is step number 1. Vibe check is number 1. Once you know the type of vibe that everyone wants to play and have a general idea, again, you don't need anything specific here. You don't need anything specific. You just need to know the vibe that people are wanting to go with. Because then, like, so in this case, we're going to say they want to be the good guys. They want to be the heroes. And they want to go on like a fun adventure. You know, maybe just like a little adventure. They're all just an adventure. They've stopped at the local guild. They're looking for a new quest and they want to go on an adventure. Okay, cool. So they're the good guys. They want to go on a fun adventure. So, okay, here. Let me rewrite all this. Let me write all this. I'm gonna try and make this at least somewhat legible. So 1, you do the vibe check. Maybe I should just type this just so it's actually legible. Yeah, let's do that. Vibe check. What players want to play? Good/evil. What classes and backstories. But rate your handwriting in it. My handwriting is fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, technically this is mouse writing, okay? This isn't actual handwriting. Then 2. Yeah. I understand. Get down there. Then 2. What's the problem? What situation will your players have to resolve? These are literally the only 2 things you need to start writing like a fun adventure. Because again, we're going to say, okay, so number 1, they've decided they want to be good. They've got like a nice healthy mix. I've done a reverse isekai. It's kind of fun. A reverse isekai to a planet that was just like Earth. So it was an isekai Earth. So we knew all of the topography and stuff. It was very interesting. Or wait, no, that's a regular isekai. Reverse isekai I've also done where you were normal people and then another fantasy world collapsed in with us and it changed a lot of people. Like, so people were randomly changed into random fantasy races. And it was like having to figure out how to deal with a world where all of a sudden your next door neighbor was now a Drider and you were a Minotaur, right? Like a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So they wanted to be good. Actually, do you know what? Let's do that. Let's make that our adventure, you know? So let's say that people want to be good. And we want to do a reverse isekai. Nice. Sorry, I just got a little excited. Hey, no, you're good. You're good. So just from getting this should already give you some ideas of a lot of times your problem can simply just be thinking about like what would actually happen if, you know, if all of a sudden orcs were now on Earth and like their arrival blew up like part of a city, you know? Or all of a sudden people just have magic. Think about how that would mess up a lot of things, right? So for backstories, you know, let's say that it's set up here on Earth, right? Now, in general, I do not recommend setting stuff on Earth. And you want to know why? Because everyone has a different level of knowledge of what Earth is and what you can do with it. Because you know what? It's a lot of stuff about like Earth that causes problems that a lot of fantasy scenarios have is Earth has really good communication. We have the internet. We have a lot of stuff that breaks a lot of problem solving in role-playing games. Because, like, think about it. How many times have you been playing a game? Oh, did my chat break? Did chat break? I think my chat broke, guys. Uh-oh. It did. That's not good. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can reboot it. Chat, you good? You back to being alive? Let me try refreshing it and see if that worked. Okay, it looks like it's back. I've been working on a new YouTube feature, and that shows that it breaks after about an hour still. Gosh dang it. Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, so anyways, thinking about Earth and things like that is you really have to consider what problems your setting might provide. This is a lot of the time the reasons why people like to stay on, like, in the fantasy world if you're going to do anything. First time watching, but D&D title grabbed my attention. Well, welcome on in. We're talking about how to start up an adventure and what processes I think about when we started them. So currently we're trying to make a reverse isekai adventure. Or talking about the steps to make a reverse isekai adventure. So like I said, if you're on Earth, you do have to think about the things like communication, phones, cars, planes, all this stuff that would provide a issue with stereotypical adventuring shenanigans. Because again, it's like, oh, we need to go talk to this ancient wizard. It's like, well, why don't you just call him? You know? Why don't you call the university? Why don't you, you know, you can like just go buy a plane ticket and get there in a couple hours, you know, stuff like that. Whereas in a lot of fantasy settings, you know, it's not quite there. So I gotta go enjoy the stream and we'll catch the video later. Well, thanks for dropping by, Vice. Hope to see you back later. So that's just something you guys really have to think about. My solution, and this is such a cop-out, if I put anything on Earth that isn't like modern based. Oh, actually, here's the good thing to add to this is tech level and magic. How much, like, are you playing a tech game? Because if you're wanting to do just, so if you're doing a tech game, then yeah, anything that people throw at you can be used. It's great. It's wonderful. It's fine. But we're gonna do fantasy for this. We want this to be a fantasy game, okay? For our intents and purposes, a good old fantasy adventure. So my solution to this is, oh no, technology doesn't work. Whoops. Oh well, I guess we have to figure out stuff. Now you can replace this with alternatives. It's like, oh, instead of cars, people have figured out how to, like, people have managed to remake cars with like Magitech and stuff like that. My main issues that I've ever come across with campaigns is really in the communication, problem. It's like the fact that people can just talk to each other super fast, like, and everyone has access to a cell phone is usually a bigger problem than I think people give credit for. Because again, if you can just call the person and ask them the question, or like, you know, make an inquiry to the research department and they can just tell you, it's like, well, that kind of, it makes investigation harder. Now you absolutely can do it on like a, you know, a normal level. Like, let's say you wanted to run like a police game, you know, like that's obviously a real thing. Police do go around and question things, and they have to go to crime scenes, and, you know, then you can still do all those checks. But like I try and limit the mass communication because it's caused problems for me. If they could recreate cars, couldn't they recreate guns? Sure, that's fine. But you just make guns have a, like, this is where you have to take a step back from realism, right? Is guns can just be equal to magic. Like, a bullet can do as much damage as a magic missile. Like, this is a number that you can just tweak. And yeah, it might not be super fair. It might not be like super realistic to be like, oh, your machine gun deals 2d10 damage. Which, you know, whereas like in real life, a machine gun would absolutely just obliterate people, right? But like, you can just tweak the number so that these are equal. See, the thing about it is, what I've kind of noticed is people don't really care, or a lot of people don't really seem to care about how realistic something is, as long as they can do the thing that they want. And it's not like completely unrealistic, right? It's like you can make up bullcrap excuses for why guns don't just insta-kill people, right? It's like, oh, maybe when Earth got reverse isekai, guess what? Now everyone's innate magic is like why they have hit points and stuff. Like, his HP doesn't literally just mean, you know, like, oh, I can take a bajillion more bullets. Like, it could be magic based. It could be a lot of things. You can magic bullcrap your way out of most things, if we're being totally honest here. Like, you don't really have to worry too much about realism unless that's what your group wants. Again, all of this is established when you did the vibe check. That's why you do the vibe check, is you ask all these questions, is like, but this is also typically why I don't do high-tech games. Yeah, Dave says this is Magica, pretty much. I mean, that's why you do it, is because I play by the belief that the concept of a level doesn't really, like, at no point in time should players have a concept of what this really is, you know? They just know that Fireball is more powerful than, you know, whatever they were using before. And that's fine. Because I also like to believe in a scaling world where, like, the reason why town guards are town guards is because they're pretty good. And you can make town guards stay challenging throughout the entire campaign, because you don't just have to be like, oh, all of my town guards are level 5. Well, why are they level 5? Did you just decide that? It's like, no, that just happens to be the level the players are at to make them challenging enough so that the guards are scary. You know, like, let's say they go around the world and, you know, they're a lot more stronger, and maybe the PCs are like level 10. Well, maybe the guards are like level 7 now. Like, the PCs are clearly stronger than them now, but like, they're not level 5 pushovers that they can instigate, because that's something I don't like, establishing that something has a level at certain, like, wherever you are, I like thinking about it from like, how challenging of a fight is this supposed to be? And you know, that's not everyone's approach to it, but it's my approach to it. So I like to scale the world with things. But anyways, that was kind of a off-topic rant or whatever. For the purposes of this game, we have decided that Earth. Hey, what's up, Ticket? How you doing? We've decided that we're doing a reverse isekai Earth game, and it's fantasy based. So this is the overall vibe we're going to go for. So now that we know our vibe, our next thing to figure out is what is the problem that we need to have the player solve. And one of the biggest things is, how long do you want this to last? You know, is this going to be a one session thing? Is this going to be a very long story building thing? Is this going to be like, what are you going to try and do with this? I broke Q animation. Why, thank you. Defeat the Demon King. No, okay. Let's say this is a small adventure. Like, let's say that the isekai just happened. They're on Earth, and let's say that the reverse isekai brought along, you know, we said orcs earlier. Let's say that the main problem is orc invaders. Right? So the reverse isekai brought a bunch of orcs that are now like attacking and causing all sorts of problems with the city. So the PC's goal is to remove this threat from their city. Now this right here already sounds like this could be a long campaign. This can be as big or as small as you want it to be. Orc racism. Okay, you know what? Yeah, fine. It's okay. Shut up. Oh, it is what it is. But sorry, that caught me off guard. But so there's orc invaders to the city. Because if you like, let's say that you're in just a little town, right? You know, you're a nice small town, you know, maybe like 1 square mile by 1 square mile, right? Immediately thought the goal was to cleanse the world of orcs. Sure. That sounds dangerously like dangerous ideology, but whatever. It's fine. Well, like, let's say, you know, we got a nice little city, 1 mile. And let's say that all the PCs live in this little neighborhood, right? And the orcs invaded, and the game is starting off with quite literally, like, the orcs control, like, this is all orc territory now. And you and a small group of survivors have sectioned off this corner of the city, and you're trying to retake the city. Okay? So that's the problem that we're trying to solve. And this is a problem that, regardless of backstory, because it's, you know, everyone's been on Earth, it's been reverse isekai, the orcs are just trying to kill people. You're trying to take back the city from the orc invaders. Okay? Boom. Clear and easy goal. You can make this, again, as big or as small as you want. Okay? And depending on how big or small you make this, this could be a 1 session thing. This could be a 5 session thing. This could be a 30 session thing. You know, maybe after you complete this city, maybe now, like, let's say you're in the US, then you have the option of like, okay, now we need to go to the state level. And then you can continue the campaign from there. I like ideas where you have an end goal. Good morning. So who's gonna play this? No one right now. We're just theory crafting a campaign, guys. We might, who knows? Maybe we make this into like a full-fledged campaign thing, you know? Who knows? Who knows? Could be a lot of fun. But So now we have this. So now we decide just how long we want to do. So for this, you know, let's say that we want this to be like a small like 3-session adventure, right? That's what you're aiming for, is to have 3 sessions of, you know, let's just say 3 hours each. So 3 hours each. So you're talking about 9 hours of playtime. Now, in my experience, players are notoriously slow at things you think they should be fast at, and very fast at things that you think they should be slow at. And they will always try to figure out the fastest method of solving a problem. I gotta go. See you later, Egg. They will always find a method of making your campaign as short as possible. Whether you want them to or not, it's just what's gonna happen. It's just what's gonna happen. It's hilarious, it's funny, but it's just what happens. So, again, this is why you got to think about how long you want things to last, theoretically, right? So, in my mind, we got 3 sessions. Okay, so if we want to have 3 sessions, then I'm going to put like an orc boss. Let's say that the orcs have like 3 main territories, right? We have a boss here. We have a boss here. And we have a boss here. Right? So like that's going to be the 3 sessions that you're going to go through. Okay, so like now they have 3 obstacles. They know about all 3 bosses, and they know taking them down is the fastest method of retaking their territory, you know, of taking back the city, right? So I would typically look at each session in a couple steps. Here, let me make this canvas a little bit bigger. Just gonna make this huge. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna move all this stuff up to the top. Oh, did I write all that on the background? No, I didn't. Okay, we're good. Can we roll to eat dirt? What's up, Daishima? How you doing? Not yet, not yet. We're still in the... We're still planning everything. You're so much better than me, bro, and you have to be a catnap. Oh, gosh. I think my chatter thing is broken. Sad day, my chat is in fact broken. Oh, well, it's fine. Not my actual chat, my chat counter. It's fine. Okay, so we have 3 sessions. So each session should have a couple things. First session is probably going to be, oops, let's do this. First session is probably going to be kind of slow. It all depends on how much your players do or want to do in the first session. Doing well, finally recovered from being with my family. Nice. First session is probably info dump central. But again, if you're keeping this really small scale, guess what? You can keep this to a minimum. You don't need to tell them the cosmic reasons of why Earth is getting invaded. You don't need to tell them, you know, the intricacies of how everything happened. For like, if your players just want to get in playing, all they need to know is the orcs are here and they need to be dealt with. That's it. That's all you got to do. Session 1 is intros. And not Ray isn't AI yet. Nope, not yet. Not yet, at least. But this is where like players can give their backstories. I usually like, again, this is back in the vibe check. I like them to have made a reason why their group is their group, because guess what? It works so much easier if the players already have tie-ins and they want to work with each other and they want to talk to each other, it just makes everything so much nicer, so much faster. And you can still play around and incorporate their backstories and stuff if you want to. Like, let them decide their group dynamic, because that'll make things a lot easier for you in the long run. Again, that's just me personally. Is that common? I know lore is commonly linked with trauma. Well, okay, you want to know why most adventurers have trauma, guys? Because normal people don't want to go on adventures fighting dragons. That's why all adventurers are kind of weird. You have to be kind of weird to be like, I want to go fight the skeleton thing that can kill me. Right? Like, you gotta be a little messed up in the head to want to be an adventurer, right? Well, Mint, I don't know how to tell you this, but, well, you know, I'm just going to leave it implied, man. I'm just going to leave it implied. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it a little implied. It's fine. I don't know, man. Fighting a dragon seems kind of like a good idea. True. But yeah, first session is going to be like kind of your info dump. And usually I like to interrupt this, by the way. I like to interrupt any info dump with, like, let's say the orcs attack. So you immediately, like, if you feel like explanations are getting a little too long, you can just straight up have something attack the PCs. Get them out of their explanations. If you feel like nothing's happening, just straight up have something attack them. Like a small precursor of like, oh, this is gonna keep happening unless you go deal with it, type of a thing. This is how I would be running this city campaign specifically. So first session, we probably have a little bit of info of like, hey, the orcs are here. You know, maybe you mentioned the 3 bosses. I'd probably set up like a city guard. The main NPC that they talk to is probably like, you know, like since we're on Earth, this would be like a chief of police, right? Like a police officer is heading up the refugees, right? Or, you know, maybe a firefighter or like some other like civil servant. I would have them be the one who's like kind of helping to try and figure things out, right? How much info do you usually give? I give as much info as the players ask for and no more. So if they want to know why the orcs are here, I will say because one day you looked out and you saw a mysterious planet that was heading towards you, and before you knew it, the earth started shaking and weird magical vibes started happening and the planets merged together and a whole bunch of building and carnage and destruction happened. And then all of a sudden the orcs were attacking you, and that's what you know. If they want like in-depth stuff, they're gonna have to work for it. But generally, I just give them as much info as they need to know to, you know, move the story along. If they want to spend, like, if the whole group wants to spend a lot of time discovering the whole intricacies of everything going on, great, wonderful, awesome, cool. I'll tell them, you know. But I'm a firm believer of, I like to know why everything is happening, but my players only need to know as much as they want to know. That's the credo I kind of live by. So yeah, they have a little bit of info up. You learn about the 3 bosses. Maybe it's the chief of police that's like heading up the relief event. And then in the middle of that, they get attacked. They get to help defend. This also gives them a good like sense of how strong individual orcs are. Things like that. Gives them a little bit of an idea of like, oh, because this is where you can really use the idea to gauge like how strong is an orc, right? If they're supposed to be fighting orcs and they get attacked by 10 and they can take out all 10, well, guess what? All of a sudden, 1 orc is not scary. 10 orcs is scary, but 1 is not. So what that means is when they're patrolling around and they see a group of like 7 orcs, oh, maybe they want to just fight them to just take a patrol off the street. Versus if they see like 1 awesome orc, that means that, oh, if there's only one orc by himself, he's probably really strong, you know? Can you set the stats as you please? If you're new, I would recommend just yoinking a stat block from a similar creature as the level you want and throwing it at him. That's what I do. Or I use my own monster creator to just do it faster. Like, that's it. You do it real fast. There's not really I am a firm believer of this is where you, because like if it's your first time jamming, you should absolutely be experimenting with your group and seeing like how you respond to things, how they respond to things, you know, what is okay to experiment with, what's not. Because at the end of the day, if you're new, you're not going to learn anything unless you just try stuff. I would also not recommend doing a custom campaign on your first run. I would personally, if it's your first time jamming, go buy one, or like there's a lot of them that are free online. You can go find a module, kind of like what we're making right here, that someone has written, and it'll have all the stat blocks. It'll have like the whole little adventure laid out for you. And a lot of times they're just a single session or two. And it'll get you into running things. And the more experience you get, the more risks you can take, the more stuff you can try. But it takes time. Like any skill, it just takes a lot of time. I feel like I'm at a point right now where if I sit down and read a rule book, I can probably make a decent campaign just having read the rules. Because I've played so many RPGs. I've played so many RPGs. I mean, hell, I've halfway written my own. I have a whole RPG system that I haven't even finished. It's just sitting there. I probably won't ever finish it because I don't think it's that good anymore. But like, I have so much experience with this. I'm pretty confident in whatever I need to do. But yeah, this first attack lets you do two things. It lets you tell your players exactly what they're up against. So that way, if they see stragglers by themselves or they see big groups, they have a rough estimate of just how strong they are, right? So if they hear that, you know, boss number 1 likes to have like 10 guards around him, well, guess what? Chances are he's not actually that strong. He might be like stronger than a normal orc, but if boss number 1 has a ton of minions with him, chances are he's not actually very strong. Whereas if you hear boss 3 likes to fight by himself on the open battlefield, well, guess what? They know that one's the final boss and they probably shouldn't go deal with him first. But they might just deal with him first. The thing I like to do here is I like to give players information without trying to flavor their choice. So like, let's say that boss 1, here, let's just make the 3 bosses that they have to beat. So boss 1, let's say he's a ranger, right? He likes fighting with bows. And he has like 4 to 6 guards with him at all times. So a couple ways to balance this is, again, if you're not really looking, this might not be like a level up campaign, or maybe you level up after each boss, who knows? You kind of decide all this during the vibe check stage. Probably skip campaign, but if they just attack a very strong boss first and all die, is the campaign just over? I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do as a GM to stop that from happening. Either you make it very clear that this boss you need to plan to deal with. Like, if you want to make a boss that can just straight up kill the party if they just run in, you have to let them know. Well, like maybe an NPC like stops them beforehand and be like, hey, do you really want to do this? I've heard that boss is really strong. You might want to prepare a little more. Or, you know, something like that. But otherwise, the way I structure things is any one of these bosses could be the final boss. So I like to design the bosses first. So boss 1 is a ranger. Let's say boss 2 is like a pit fighter. It's like he fights by himself and he uses like a double axe. And he likes to do one-on-one fights, you know? And then let's see. let's say boss 3 is like a shaman or something, you know, something magic-y. And they have like 2 to 3 guards at all time. Right? Now, the fun fact about planning all this is you can generally... I like to make encounters or campaigns where anyone could really be the final boss. TPK, total party kill, Jackadoo. That means that everyone in the party is dead. So the way I like to do things is like, let's say this is boss 1, this is 2, and this is 3, right? Let's say that they just want to go fight the shaman first. Well, guess what? I'll make the shaman still hard, but I wouldn't have made it as hard as if, like, let's say they did boss 1 and 2 first. Then boss 3 should obviously be the hardest. But if they really want to start with boss 3 first, well, guess what? I'll make it harder than it probably should have been. Because they shouldn't, you know, if people have told them that, like, hey, this is scary, unless I want this to be like the boss encounter, then I will generally scale this down a little bit. So, like, let's say the boss is supposed to be like level 6 and they're level 4. Well, guess what? This boss will now be level 4 to fight them, and I'll just pump up maybe the number of mooks that they have. The number of minions, just to make it a little bit harder, but not unwinnable. But what that does is that means now bosses 1 and 2 need to get stronger. It's like, let's say they then go to boss number 1. Well, now guess what? Boss number 1 might be level 5, where instead before he's going to be level 4. And then they go to boss 2. It's like, okay, well now boss 2 is level 6, and now he's really scary, right? So I like designing encounters like this where they know all the pieces that they need to do to complete whatever their task is, but they get to decide in what direction they are headed. That is my preferred method of campaign creation. Now, even within here, there's a lot of stuff you can do, because obviously they're not going to just be like, oh, well, we need to go kill the boss. We run at the boss and go kill them. It's like, well, maybe they have to take out patrols. Maybe they have to infiltrate. Here's where you can start to get really creative with what you want them to do. Because, you know, maybe it's an intrigue and, like, you're trying to find, like, hidden passages or things like that. Or maybe you're watching their patrols so you can slip past them. Or maybe you just like to go guns blazing and absolutely just fight through everything, right? Maybe your group just wants to fight. Maybe there's another method. Maybe all the orcs don't want to fight. And then that's where your good old bards come in and be like, hey, what if we want to seduce them? It's like, well, I guess if you're into that kind of thing, you could, you know. You know, it's just really, I like to leave it up to the players to whatever way they want to do it. Like, you know, maybe one of the bosses is like diplomatic, you know, maybe they don't want to be the bad guy. Maybe they want to join your side, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'm a question because I'm so confused. How does the do system work? You keep saying stuff like level 5 and my character and XP now, and I still don't get it. That's really basic stuff, Jackadoo. And I don't mean basic as in, like, it's not bad that you don't know, but I mean, like, there's a lot of different ways to do EXP, and that's a whole different topic on itself. Right now, I'm just talking about the overarching thing. To talk about EXP and stuff, that'd be a whole stream in and of itself. Because I could talk about that for a long time too. Oh gosh. But like I said, I like presenting them with the problems, and they get to figure out how they want to pursue it, because that's more fun for them. Is if they just want to fight everything, they can. If they want to talk, they can. If they want to, you know, sneak, they can. If they want to give me some weird magic solution where they figure out how to turn a mouse into a giant living bomb that blows apart a building that knocks it down on the boss and insta-kills them, but they did the legwork to try and make it happen and got really high rolls on a lot of things, guess what? They can. You know? That's how I run my games, is I will always at least try to consider what the players are doing, because it's more fun for everyone. Seems oddly specific. Look, there's been a lot of ways that we've done a lot of things, okay? My party has done their fair share of seducing dragons or collapsing castles and to like kill a local king, to, you know, maybe we turn the horse that the guard commander rides into a living bomb. You know, it's fine. There's lots of other fun stuff, you know. Hey Amara, how you doing? Welcome on in. Did my counter work? Nope, my counter's broken. Sad day. I have to look into why it's broken. Yep, just another Tuesday. But yeah, just like I said, I like giving players the freedom to do whatever they want, within reason. Like, I'm not gonna let them say just do anything, right? Because that's how things go so off the rails that you literally can't fix them, right? Like, that's how you break games, and that's usually not super fun. Because, like, obviously the rules exist for a reason. You need to at least try and stick with them. Hey, what's up, Ducky? How you doing? But I do think it's more fun when you let players experiment. I'm sad my chatting program decided to bork itself. Oh well. I'll figure that out later. Anyways. How do you feel about artificers? I haven't played one. I don't really know about them. But probably fine. Okay, so now that we've set up the problem, we let the players decide. In my opinion, generally, I kind of run by the rule of thumb of each encounter takes a half hour to an hour. Like, basically, during the session, usually players will get to do, like, let's say we're doing a 3-hour session. Players will get to do 4 to 6 things during that time. And when I say 4 to 6 things, I mean, like, maybe they'll be able to do some information gathering. Maybe they'll do a fight. Maybe they'll, you know, come up with this elaborate plan to sneak into things. You know, in my experience, players tend to do 1 to 2 things every hour. That's just kind of how it boils down. So if I want this to be 3 sessions, then usually I will end each one with a boss fight. So, like, let's say they want to go fight boss number 1, and they've decided just to fight, like, run right at them. You know, maybe there's like 2 to 3 patrols. Maybe like a hazard, you know, like maybe the building has fallen down and they need to, like, they either need to go around, which might make them run into more patrols, or maybe they, you know, do like a dice check, like some sort of skill check to try and get over it. Maybe there's a possible resource outpost, or like, you know, like, again, because we're on Earth, like maybe the Walmart was blocked up and maybe there might be some good supplies in there, or like you can introduce all these little things for them to explore, but, you know, try and keep it within, you know, 4 to 6 things per session, because legitimately that's about all you have time for. Now, if you're having a big epic boss fight, guess what? Those are like 1 to 1.5 hours of commitment right there. That's just, combat takes a long time. Again, this is all dependent on group size, but I'm just trying to walk you guys through like what I think about when I'm making an adventure. So for this, I put like 1 or 2 combat patrols. So like maybe like a patrol, a hazard, another patrol, and then like some sort of resource or something. So in this case, like we said, like Walmart, right? Because we're on Earth. Or maybe you find like a cop car that has guns in it or something that your characters can use. Or like that you've come across a recent battle and there's a bunch of orc weaponry lying around because they had to run away or something like that. You know, whatever. But then, and then you can do like the boss fight. So this is where they decided to attack things. And even when you get to the boss fight, you know, players can strategize like, oh, well, maybe we sneak up to the tent and we try and set it on fire. So they start with an advantage and stuff like this. Each fight will take like a minimum of like 30 minutes each. This will take like maybe 10. And then this will take the last like 1 to 2 hours. That's just how it's gonna work. It's just how it's gonna work. But like, you know, let's say that they wanted to go with the patrol or with the diplomacy option, right? So same scenario. Let's say they come across patrol. Maybe they have a paladin who's really outspoken and they really want to try to avoid fighting at all costs. They make a very passionate plea, and maybe that's how they get around one of the patrols. You know, maybe if they're good enough, maybe that patrol decides to just peace out forever. And so now there's less chance of them running into them later. Or, you know, if they do really, really well and convinced that maybe their leaders are invading for the wrong reasons, you know, maybe one of the orcs joins them for one of the missions as a way to like try and take back. Or, you know, maybe they bargain with one of the orcs and be like, hey, you know, if we make you the new boss, you just got to stop attacking us so we can work together, Like, you know, maybe you're bribing them. Like, there's a lot of different ways that this can go. And again, you can still do all this other stuff that we mentioned before. Or, you know, if you're rolling good like that, maybe they try and search out for another patrol to get another person. Maybe that goes bad and maybe they lose their first orc. And so now it's like an even harder fight. And then when they finally get to the boss, maybe the orcs already know about them and all this stuff. Like, there's so much stuff that you can do. And there's just so many different ways to tackle it. Because honestly, any different way that they try and approach things, you just think about like, oh, okay, so if they're trying to sneak, what would be here? And you know what all of this does? All of this comes from your pre-planning stage of once you know what this game is, you can start making assumptions like, okay, there's going to be a patrol here. Patrols are going to go along here. Because again, if the game scope is small, you can make all these assumptions, and when players do things, you can either change them to make the game better, or you can just run with it. I usually just run with it and wing it because I'm better at improv DMing than I am with super planned stuff. But like, I would say like, oh, I know patrols are going to be around, so if they're trying to sneak past them, you know, maybe they just have to sneak past 1 or 2. Or if they want to like harvest stuff from buildings, it's like, well, you know, that's easier done when they're sneaking rather than when they're fighting, because, you know, maybe on patrol ambushes them while they're inside of the Walmart, right? And then now the fight is, instead of being outside on the ground or on the road or something, it's inside of a building with shelvings and things and all this annoying stuff that can block line of sight and things like that. There's just so many options when it comes from how to run a simple campaign, right? Or a simple adventure. Because again, like, each of these could be 3 sessions or 1 session, or if you want this all just to be 1 session, you know, you could just combine all of this into one big thing. It's like, okay, so we know that we need to go fight the bosses. So maybe there's patrols, a patrol, and then a hazard / resource in between each. So you just do this loop 3 times. And this would be a great way of introducing someone into the game. Also, welcome back. Without being overwhelming. Because, like, okay, we got a fight. We got a thing where you can use some skill checks. Then we got a boss fight. And we got another, you know, we got a regular fight. We got another thing where you can use some skill checks. And then another boss fight. And by introducing this stuff here, maybe they start thinking about how to use skill checks over here. You know, so what you want to do is be building these blocks of ideas of things that the players can do that, you know, maybe you had, but they're not seeing. It's like, oh, you know, they fought this patrol and they're like, man, we really wish we had something to, you know, keep them from moving. Well, it's like all of a sudden, remember that Walmart? It's like, well, you could go buy like car oil, and during the next boss fight, you could like spread it on the ground so it's like super slippy. And, you know, maybe, or, you know, maybe you know where their hut is and you buy a canister of gasoline and chuck it in and light it on fire. You know, there's a whole bunch of different options you can go with. And so even if you wanted this to take 3 sessions or 1 session, the general formula is going to be the same. It's just have an idea of, you know, what type of fights people are going to do, if that's your player's thing, or if they want to do talking. You know, it's just, then you got to think about, okay, what are the orcs' mentalities? Is it possible that someone is a defector? And like, you know, if it's this super militarized group of orcs, it's like, well, maybe there's one orc that looks a little different and they think a little different. And so you want to talk to them, you know? There's just, there's so many different options. But this is generally how I would walk through structuring an adventure. And the best part is you can use this to look at the overall game in general. Because like once you've taken back the city, it's like, okay, well, now you have the city. Are the orcs, you know, invading the rest of the world? Well, guess what? You can use these same steps to like, okay, well, now we want to take over like a state or something. Or like maybe now there's this big portal that they're all coming through. Maybe the players can go through there and deal with that thing. So it's just take all these little building blocks and build upon them until you come across a big story. For a long and short, first session, plan 4 to 6 encounters, obstacles, or problems that come up. Yeah, that's a good way of simplifying all this down. Is have 4 to 6 things that you know can happen. And the best part is, guess what, guys? If you have, like, let's say that you planned for them to go to this part of the city first and there's a patrol waiting for them there, but then they decide to, you know, go up here and go to this place instead. Well, guess what? Now this is just up there and the players will never know. Like they'll never know. Hey, what's up, Spooky Ghost? How you doing? If you're someone wanted to use, if you're stumped on what to do, don't be afraid to pull ideas from movies or games. Exactly. That's where a lot of great ideas come from. And you can work with so many different things. You can try so many different stuff. Never be afraid to pull from what you know, because guess what? That's what everyone does in campaigns. It's fine. Again, I would classify this as like as an adventure. It's not going to be this grand overarching thing. If you want to do like a whole campaign, then we can, you know, maybe that'd be a fun stream to do for next week, as we talk about you know, how I would build like out a big overarching campaign. You know, what adventure are you making? We're more just talking about how I would make an adventure. Currently the theme was a reverse isekai fantasy where the players are the good guys. So in this scenario, orcs have invaded Earth and they have to retake their city. That is the theme for this small adventure. If you can read my chicken scratch. Here's a valuable skill along with the prep time, adventure on the fly, and improvising. Oh yeah, no, that absolutely is a massively big skill, but that's also something that you have to, that comes with experience and just knowing the system. Because honestly, improvising an adventure is really difficult if you're new. Because not only are you thinking about like what you can throw at them, but also how to throw it at them. So I believe that more prep work makes any session go like 30 times smoother. Because you can always reuse something you've made in a different place in the world. It is very hard to come up with things on the fly that make sense. But if you've made something that makes sense in one spot, chances are you can reflavor it just a little bit to make sense somewhere else, right? Like again, with the patrols, like, well, is this group of orcs supposed to be over here, but your party went over there? Well, guess what? This group of orcs is now over there. Because why? There's orcs everywhere. So it doesn't matter that this specific group you thought was going to be over here. it doesn't matter because your players didn't know that that's where they were supposed to be. They just run into them over here. And maybe they have that item that lets them do that thing in a different spot. And so they can connect the dots that way. But you took the time to plan the event or plan the encounter beforehand, you know? I was not expecting Cat of Wisdom tonight. I like talking about D&D. I did it and it worked great. Theater of the Mind is great. Well, I'm not saying you can't, Dingo. Obviously you can. A lot of people do. A lot of people are really, really good at it. But it's hard your first time. And so I like doing as much prep work as I can because I know personally that I will thank myself for it later. But past that, you just got to go for it. And there you go. That's our adventure setup. There's obviously a lot more steps to this. This is just the bare bones outline. Maybe one day we'll actually sit down and write a whole thing, you know? We'll sit down, actually put encounters and stuff in. That would take a little bit more time, you know? But yeah, there you go. There's your D&D stream for now. I kind of want to do more stuff like this because it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Much love, and you know, if I ever write a campaign, I'm definitely gonna take your advice. Well, thank you. And you know, I saw several new people in here today. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. Join the Discord, link in the description and all that. Become a member if you want. Look, I gotta get better at shilling myself occasionally. Though man, I got some stuff I'm gonna be so excited to shill soon. I'm so excited. So excited. It's gonna be so good. Thank you, Mint, for linking that Discord. You beat me to it by about 3 seconds. But yeah. I've been multitasking now, hyping up. No, it's fine. I'm trying to get better at hyping myself up, okay? You know? should I do the really cringe thing? It's like, hey, did you guys know that if you have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to me for free on Twitch by using your Twitch Prime? You know, you gotta do it right. Do it. I just did. I just told you guys that my Twitch is in the description. Actually, I think I changed my description. Oh, by the way, okay. So now we've talked about D&D stuff, guys. We're gonna go on one more tangent time. Did you guys notice that YouTube changed the layout back to normal? They changed the layout back. The description's back below. I'm so happy. I was so upset. I really hope that other layout doesn't come back. I was so pissed off. It was so bad. Also, hello, car outside my window. YouTube layout never changed here. Well, it changed for me, but it changed back now. I'm just so happy. It didn't change for everyone, but it had changed for me. And then it comes back. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Ah, good times. What's up, Jose? How you doing? Where was it? I'll try and send you like a screenshot of what it looked like, man. You would hate it. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, there you go. There's all your D&D shenanigans met. I'm gonna try and do a short stream tomorrow. A vertical stream, because I gotta get, you know, I gotta stay on top of doing all that jazz. And then we got a stream on Saturday. I think I have like 2 streams on Saturday, actually. Hold on. Or is it Saturday and Sunday? I don't know. I was a part of Roy's birthday stream yesterday. I'm a part of another person's anniversary stream on Sunday, I think. And then I'm a part of yet another person's stream somewhere. I don't know. I'm Mr. Worldwide right now. I'm apparently making the rounds onto all my friends' streams. It's weird but fun. Social Cat Arc. I mean, to be fair, this year has been Social Cat Arc. Even though I haven't been talking to as many people on stream, I've been talking to a lot of other streamers. So, you know, it technically counts, right? I've been making the rounds. What else? Do you guys want to listen to the new song again? I do. So I'm gonna put it back on because it's so good. We can go back to the library. Okay, now that we're done with that, we're gonna chill here for a couple minutes. Gosh, I love this music. It's so chill. So good. See, who is currently streaming? I'm just gonna set up the raid now so I don't have to think about it later. I could raid Flayon. Wait. That's not right. Hold on, wait. I need to refresh. It said Mint that you were still live. And I was like, wait, have you been live this whole time? Okay, now it refreshed. Okay, that's so much better. I was so confused. That's funny. I can raid Made Mint. Do you guys want to raid Made Mint? Why not? That sounds funny. I'm surprised that she has raids open. She's playing Bunny Garden, so, you know, have fun for that. Have fun with that. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about before we end stream? Oh, yeah. Well, no, I'll save that for later. I haven't finished that idea yet. But, no, I don't think there's anything else. Are we gonna celebrate your B-Day on the day or the Saturday? Because of the stuff that I will potentially have ready for it. I mean, it is on a Wednesday. We will probably do it on that Saturday. We'll probably do it on the 18th. Just because that gives me more time. I don't think I could do a super long stream on Wednesday unless I like left work early. Yeah, no, we're probably just gonna do it on Saturday. Because that way we have more time. It's the weekend, we're vibing. You know, it's a morning stream. I always feel like I'm a little bit more energetic during morning streams because, you know, I've just woken up and I'm good to go. So, we're looking at the 18th for a birthday stream. We'll have a birthday stream, quote unquote, because I will be streaming on my birthday, but it will not be the birthday stream. The birthday stream will be May 18th. So that's the plan. But I don't think there's anything else that I really want to talk about. I'm sure I'll remember something right as soon as stream ends, but you know, we can save that for tomorrow. We can yap more tomorrow about shenanigans and stuff. But for now, I think that's it from me. I'm gonna call it here. Yeah, tomorrow, cause I didn't do it yesterday. Tomorrow, if I do, I'm not guaranteed to stream tomorrow. I'm kind of playing it by ear. because it's, you know, not my normal day. But if we do, I'm planning on doing it tomorrow for a vertical stream. So tomorrow is vertical yapping stream, because that's what we do on vertical streams, is we just yap. So, can't believe I stayed for full stream. I know I'm not here a lot, but I'm happy I showed up. Hey, I'm glad to have you. Feed you stream haircuts. I will have a good night. I hope you have a good night as well. We're gonna raid main mint because we can. So, wherever you are in the world, hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. But for now, class is dismissed.